Hey, this is Walter Rochester. I have some motivating words for you today, so listen up. Well, today I want to talk to you about a broken heart part 2. And the reason I am returning to the topic of a broken heart is because I want to ensure or make sure that if your heart is broken, or perhaps one day you will experience a broken heart, you do not end up falling into some of the pitfalls or some of the traps that a broken heart may present. Really and truly, every heart is without God, that is deceitful, it's desperately wicked. There's no way you can know the potential of a person's heart. But especially when a heart is broken, that heart is sick, and therefore it's very easy for that heart to make very bad decisions consistently, right? So this is broken heart 2, and I'm telling you or giving you at least 3 things you should never do if or when your heart gets broken, all right? All right, the first thing that you don't want to ever do when your heart gets broken is this. You do not want to, what's the word? Man, I forgot the word. The first thing you don't want to do when your heart is broken is that you do not want to become the pain. Never become the pain. I am fed up of hearing of stories of young men and young women who were faithful in their relationships, but they were cheated on by their partner. Or I shouldn't say partner, I suppose. They were cheated on by a boyfriend or girlfriend or whomever it is. They were betrayed, and as a result of that, the next relationship that they go into, they themselves have become the cheat, they become the player, they become the one who is making the poor decisions, right? And I understand why that is. It's a protection mechanism. It's to make sure that I'm never the victim again, but at the same time, you are becoming the pain, and now you're breaking someone else's heart. Instead, the same thing happens with those who are divorced. Sometimes you go into divorce, and after that divorce, you can end up stereotyping all men or all women based on the behavior of your husband or wife, or what you'd label as your ex-husband or ex-wife, right? And as a result of that stereotyping, you can end up breaking hearts as well. The same thing occurs if you end up losing loved ones, right? If you lose a really close person, someone you love so dearly, and they're gone, sometimes that could cause you to lay aside your faith. You could end up pushing aside people also who end up reaching out to you, right? And people who care about you, you could end up becoming very cynical and sarcastic towards them and insulting at times, because you hate the fact that you've experienced this pain, but in the process, in dealing with it, now you are breaking hearts, and those people do exactly what you asked them to do, because of the way in which you asked them to do it. They just leave you alone, right? But in the process, you've just broken some hearts, right? The same thing happens with abusers, those who abuse people when they were young. Those who are victims of abuse, right? Sometimes people experience abuse, and in order to deal with it, in order to cope with it, they themselves become very cold. And with time, when they are placed into an advantageous position, they themselves become abusers, very common as well, right? And the abusive cycle continues, right? And so all these things, all I'm saying basically is to, when your heart gets broken, when it feels betrayed, when it feels bereft, when it feels like that hope has been deferred, that does not mean that you have to become the bad guy. Don't become the villain, right? Never become that guy or that girl or that woman, man or that woman, right? Don't let a broken heart make you become the pain. Never become the pain, all right? Follow my last video, see if there's some ways you can deal with it instead of becoming cold-hearted, right, or freezing up and becoming numb to everybody else, and not caring if you cause pain to the whole world, because nobody was there for you when you're going through all this pain, right? So now you don't care about anybody else, and you don't mind stepping on other people. One final example with this would be those who work extremely hard. They try to get a promotion, and then you see other people rising in terms of their position, their status at the workplace, and this can be really betraying, especially if you have been putting in all the effort and time that is necessary to get that promotion, to move forward in your career. And then you see people who utilize dubious means of rising. They're getting through, whether that's because they are selling their body in order to go forward sexually and whatnot, or whether they are using corrupt means or bypassing company laws or actual governmental nationwide laws, or whatever they're doing, cutting corners, whatever it is they're doing to get forward, and you see them moving forward. And that can be really heartbreaking if you're really putting your all into something, into a project, into some work, right? So if that is the case, sometimes when you see that happen enough to you, you end up saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to adopt these dubious means to go forward, because I might as well do those things. But remember, there's a God who's always seeing you. So don't envy the oppressor. Don't choose any of his ways, right? God will vindicate you in time, right? The point is, never become the pain, because if you become like those people, if you become as aggressive as they are in order to get work done, or whatever wrong thing that they may be doing in order to move forward, if you become the pain, then now you're the bad guy, you're the villain, and now you're distributing pain to others. You're the distributor of pain, right? So never become the pain.